So we're talking about banking, central banking that is, and we are looking at the roles of the Federal Reserve. What we left off this, we're talking about clearing checks. When you write a check in one state, how is it, let's get it in Oregon, and you've got a Georgia, a checking account with a Georgia bank, why do they take it? Because they've got the Federal Reserve running the system to take money out of the Georgia account and deposit in the Oregon account. So checks can go all over the place. That facilitates trade in our economy. Okay? That's all you gotta know about that. So for the test, you don't have to read that whole thing about check clearing system. That's all you gotta get. Okay? Next, acting as fiscal agent. Fiscal means somebody who's handling money, and the government needs a fiscal agent. When the government, the U.S. Treasury, when it takes in taxes, it's got to put that money somewhere. Its checking account is with the Fed. That's its bank. It also, the Fed makes loans to the U.S. Treasury and gives advice to the President and Congress. Okay, here's what we often think of. Next one is the banker's bank. That's a role we often think of in the Fed. That's the top of the list. Do banks have, who's got a checking account? Raise your hand if you got a checking. Does your bank have all your money in the bank? No. How do banks make money?
Loaning it out.
Loaning it out, right? It's called fractional reserve banking. Austrians would like to get rid of this. They think this is like the root of all the whole problems, but you know, we're just going to have to go with how things are right now. Your bank keeps a fraction of your money on reserve and loans out the rest. So what happens if everybody comes back to get their money all at once? The bank goes bankrupt, right? You've got to run out of the bank. And it was runs on the bank that encouraged us to create the Fed in the first place. It was the panic of 1907. Congress said, we can't have this happen again. Let's create a system to move money around. A federal, for the whole country, reserve system. So if Sue's got a bank, and the people run on her bank, now normally, normal companies, you want your competition to go out of business. Okay, if you've got Lowe's and Home Depot across the street from each other, they want the other guy to go out of business so they get all the customers. Doesn't work that way with banking. Because if Sue goes out of business, what are Caroline's depositors going to do? They're going to freak out, and they're going to have a run on her bank, and it spreads. So what we created was a federal system to move reserves, so all you banks would take reserves from you and give it to Sue so she doesn't go bankrupt and the panic stops. That was the theory. Now what we can do, the Fed can just, if it needs to, just create money. Because what type of currency do we have?
Fiat.
Fiat. So we can just, it's magic money. Just bloop. Makes that noise, by the way. It actually does. Because so these banks, financial markets, they have accounts with the Fed. They're running low. The Fed can just go, bloop, you've got more money. And we just deposit it in your computer account. So what it says in the book, my summary says, since the amount of currency in existence is smaller than the amount of money supply in checking accounts, right? Remember, what can serve as money? Anything that people will accept for goods and services, right? So if you deposit cash in the bank, and the bank loans out a lot of your cash, you still got your money, but now a lot of it's in the form of credits in the bank. You with me? So there isn't enough cash to make everybody happy to deposit, to pull out of their account all at once. So if, so a problem could arise if everybody wanted their cash. To prevent that, the Fed creates and lends enough currency to banks to satisfy panicking depositors. Does that make sense, y'all? You see how the Fed acts as the banker's bank. They give money to the banks to stop runs on banks. You with me? Okay, next. Creating money. The Fed's job of creating money. As a result of its role as the nation's fiscal agent and the banker's bank, the Fed has developed powerful methods of expanding and contracting the money supply. But first, you gotta understand the money multiplier effect. Okay, to understand how this works, the Fed's money creation, you gotta understand the money multiplier effect. Do not drone on me. No drone zone. Okay? Hopefully you're never droning, but you know, we can live with it if you drove later. Give me like 3 minutes. Okay, can you give me 3 minutes of attention? Please?
Yes.
There we go. Okay, 3 minutes. Let's see if we can do it. I don't have a stopwatch. Okay, so I give you a definition. He's doing a timer. Okay, definition of the money multiplier. Expansion of the money supply as a result of commercial banks lending out their depositors' money to others. Got the definition right there. Okay, you got the definition. Let's see how it works. Okay, I got the scenario written out on your notes. Let's play it out. Now, let's say the Fed creates 10,000 bucks and deposit it in Gene's account. Okay? So Gene gets 10,000 cash money. Okay, he's got cash. Puts it in his account. The original deposit, 10,000. Is the bank gonna keep that 10,000 in the bank? What are they gonna do with it? Okay, are they gonna loan all of it out?
Nope.
What are they gonna do with some of it? Keep it on,
Reserve,
how much are they gonna keep on reserve?
10%.
What dictates how much they're gonna keep on reserve? What's that called?
Reserve ratio,
Yeah, is it optional? No, it's required. So what's it called? Required reserve ratio. You with me? If the required reserve ratio is 10%, you deposit 10,000, how much will they keep on reserve? 1,000. How much will they loan out? 9,000. Okay. Once they loan out 9,000, what is the total money supply? Started out with a deposit of $10,000 cash. We loan out 9,000. What is the total increase to the money supply from this 10,000? It is now 19,000. Now, one thing you gotta grasp, this to make sense, is what can serve as money?
anything.
Anything. So cash, little pieces of paper, that's money. But our credits in your checking account, now it's electronic, is that money too?
Yep.
Yeah. So when the bank, here's Greg's account, right? 10,000 bucks in there. The bank loaned out 9,000 of that cash to Robert. Did Greg lose 9,000 when the bank loaned it out? No. It's just now he's got 1,000 in cash and 9,000 in what? Electronic credits. Then Robert gets 9,000 in cash. So there's still a total of $1,000 in cash in reserves, 9,000 cash loaned out. So there's still 10,000 cash, but now we've added to it 9,000 of electronic credits. Does that make sense?
Pardon the interruption. The tennis team is now dismissed.
Is my time up? Can I ask for 3 more minutes? I underestimated how much time I need. It was nice enough to let me know. You don't get more attention, Mr. Rose. Okay, have a nice tennis match. Okay. Was anybody else a little intimidated when Sydney was beating up on somebody during the play? I was kind of triggered. Okay, I thought she was going to hurt somebody. Okay. So, but wait, there's more. Because is Robert gonna walk around with $9,000 cash in his wallet? Unless it's like a wrapper and light cigars with it or something. No, no. What's he gonna do? He's gonna deposit his money in a bank. So what's gonna happen? Is that bank gonna keep that 9,000? They're gonna keep 10% on reserve, and they're going to loan out the rest. So now, how much money is there added to the money supply? Now it's 27,100. Just keep adding it up. So the 10,000 plus the 9,000, just keeps adding and adding and adding. Then whoever got that money, are they going to keep it? No, they deposit, and this goes on infinitely. With me? So, in the end, that $10,000 increase in money supply, when the Fed said, here, Greg, and that whole thing is, Greg's got connections because he, gave contributions to the Republican Party. Okay? That's why, by the way, Wall Street, they give liberally to both parties, Wall Street does. You want to make everybody happy. Okay. So, Jamie, shout out. you like that one? What I just said? Yeah, I thought, okay, so, they keep loading up, and it adds up that $10,000 that started out $10,000 in the end becomes $100,000 because of what did we just learn about? What's the concept? The what effect?
Money multiplier.
Money multiplier. Who's multiplying? This is how. Remember, I promised to talk about. This is how private banks create money. Go down with that? Okay. So okay, that was like 5 minutes of attention. Okay. Yes,
So
ma'am.
won't that just like lead to a bubble eventually?
Exactly. Yes. This is why Austrians don't like it.
Okay.
They don't like fractional reserve banking. Hi, Jerry. Okay. So they don't like fractional because they say this is why we got bubbles.
Yeah.
And the Marxists say, oh, it's capitalism, it's unstable. No, it's fractional reserve banking. They say.
So what do you do when it like pops?
You have a recession.
If that's just.
Yeah.
Alright.
What if
Yeah.
it never
Okay. Now, and the problem is the Fed makes more bubbles by creating more of this money. But the thing is, a lot of us were expecting, since 2008, we've been creating a lot of money, and we were expecting a lot of inflation. It hadn't happened, right? And one of my favorite Austrian economists, he admitted, from what I understand, he admitted, I don't know why we haven't had inflation. We should, okay. But from my very, very shallow understanding of things, okay, we're going to see why we haven't had the money supply grow as much as we have. Okay. Do you understand the money multiplier? Okay? One slide.
What's better, a bank or a credit union?
Oh, for you?
Just in general.
For people to use?
Mhm. Thank you.
Just look at what we talked about last chapter, and at what we want to look for in a bank, you know, and what the options are, where the ATMs are, and stuff like that, and where you're getting good rates for loans. So again, you just want a normal checking account. Make sure they're not charging you anything. If they're not charging you anything, like you guys probably shouldn't be charging anything to get a student account.
Right.
Yeah. Remind me to go back and edit out that part that I didn't know. Okay. So,
I was like, oh, this is gonna be good.
now, you have to do this infinitely to come up with a number. Now, mathematicians have come up with a permutation. I think that's what it's called. Let's make that a verb. They permuted it and permutated it, and they came up with a formula. Now, Mr. Vraikin, I'm sure, could come in here and say, oh, that's easy. Explain how they came up with the formula. I'm just going to tell you, here's the formula, and you write it down and memorize it. It's in the book, page 156. What I would do, they say d times 1 over rr, okay? I would write, just to the left of it, I would write total increase in the money supply equals d times 1 over rr. That's what the d times 1 over r. That tells you the total increase in the money supply. Where d is what? What's d? What's d?
Distance.
No!
Initial.
The initial deposit! You're going to confuse everybody. This is not physics. And what's RR? Not Mork for Mork. Anybody remember Mork and Mindy? That TV show is before your time.
I just
You
read-
say
Well, we were
RR?
just talking about
I
it
just
today.
referenced that.
RR.
Yeah.
Slide me through.
So,
Required research.
get on down with the red cell soup. Required reserve. Okay, 1 over the required reserve. So, if it's 10%, do you put 10 in? What do you
No.
put? 0.1. Okay. Y'all got that? Now, why is the money multiplier formula a bad tool for predicting changes in the money supply? Remember I said at the beginning of the whole semester, I said we're going to go with what the book is saying, that econ is a science, but it's really not a science. Why did I say it? Because people are not just globs of matter, okay? You are not cannonballs that we can make predictions about exactly where you are not determined. Determinist, you're not part of a deterministic system. You have free will. So you do not adhere perfectly to formulas. Formulae? Okay? So, the formula doesn't predict, and I think this might have to do something with why the money supply didn't, the Fed was cranking out money, okay? But we didn't have the money supply expand as much as we thought we would because these two things. First, not all deposited money is gonna get lent out. Banks don't always lend out everything they can. When the economy's not looking too good, banks are gonna keep money. By the way, this is one of the things, one of the many things FDR did wrong to ruin everything and keep the economy so bad for so long. He scared people, and so they kept their money, they didn't loan it out. Okay, so we're just gonna take it all. I said, well, we're gonna loan it out, okay? But he did win World War II, so he ends up on the good president. He won World War II. That counts for something, okay? But economically, okay. So first of all, banks are gonna loan out everything they can. So it's the money multiplier will overestimate how much growth you're gonna have. Secondly, people don't redeposit everything, right? So if this guy he's not gonna redeposit all, he might use some of it. So you're not gonna get 9,000 deposited to get loaned out again. It'll be something less than that. And if you do that infinitely, the result will be much less than what the formula would predict. Got it?
Can you repeat what D equals 1 over RR is about?
Yes, that tells you the total increase in the money supply. So when the Fed creates this much, the initial deposit, the long-term result, the total effect after banks have loaned out and loaned out and loaned out is D times 1 over R. Copacetic? Yes? Okay. Can you dig it? What movie is that from, John? I don't know. I'm gonna go find out what movie that's from. Like that. Yeah, big deal. Ask him. Okay. Okay, now that you know what the money multiplier is, now we can talk about the 3 tools the Fed has to create money. So the Fed has 3 ways of changing how much money is in the nation's money supply. What is the money supply? How much money is floating around out there? Is that money just cash?
No.
No. It's also credit, stuff in banks, okay? Number 1, changing the discount rate. Changing the discount rate. Okay? Discounting means lending money to banks. The Fed lending money to banks. So the Fed creates the money to lend. Where does the Fed come up with this money? What type of money is this again? Fiat. This is magic money. There we go. So let it be. So kind of like a Beatles song. Let it be. Just screw it. The Fed creates the money to lend by simply crediting the amount to be loaned to the borrowing bank's account. The borrowing bank may now make more loans, causing the money supply to grow via the what? Multiplier. The Fed attracts borrowers by lowering the discount rate, the interest rate it charges on loans. So when you hear, next time you're listening to NPR, National Public Radio, and you hear them say, as a matter of fact, I can't remember if it happened last week, or they say it's gonna happen. Janet Yellen, okay, you think the president's the most powerful person on the world? No, it's Janet Yellen. Well, she's okay, she's a close second. You've never heard of her, but she's got a lot of power. She decides what the interest rate is, okay? And that Austrians would already, the fur would go to the back of their neck. The interest rate, like the government gets to say. We're going to have banks creating interest rates, but no, the government sets the interest rate. When you hear on the National Public Radio, they say, the Fed decided to keep the discount rate the same or to boost it. I think she went up a little. She said, hey, the economy's going well, so I'm going to go up a little with the discount rate so we make sure we don't have inflation. And that's the Fed's job, to try to keep the growth, but don't have a bubble and inflation, but don't kill growth by raising it too much. That's why she basically has to be a wizard, okay? Because these formulas aren't perfect, right? That's why Chairman Greenspan, before her, he used to do nothing but reading statistics all the time, right? Okay, so she uses her wizard powers and her Vulcan mind meld and the Force to come up with exactly what that discount rate needs to be. Now, is the Fed doing this all the time? Is the Fed? No. Rarely does the Fed alter because it's a big deal. I mean, you could cause a stock market crash you get this wrong. And then she's really careful about it. She's like, okay, I'm gonna kind of signal months ahead. You know, I might be changing the discount rate. I'm thinking about it. Y'all hear me? I'm kind of, because if she just up and says, you know, I think I'll raise the discount rate a couple, 3 points. Collapse. Everybody freaks out, right? Building catching on fire. So because what happens? It's harder for banks to get loans, and then banks can't loan out to businesses. Remember, what started the Great Depression? Banks collapsed, right? So you can be careful, very careful with it. So it makes the news when she changes, and she's not doing it all by herself, right? She announces it. When she changes the discount rate, it's a big deal, okay? Depending on what the government, what the economy's like. Back there for a while, the economy was really doing well. Greenspan would do it like maybe, I'm trying to remember, like once a month maybe. Okay, we slow down the economy, get into a gradual, you know, an easy soft landing. But we haven't had, since 2008, with the collapse, we haven't had many of these discount rate changes. Okay, number 2, changing the reserve requirement. The Fed could alter the money supply by lowering the reserved ratio, the required reserve ratio to increase the money supply, and raising the required reserve ratio to decrease the money supply. Because of the dramatic changes it causes, the Fed rarely uses this method. The Fed, from my very shallow grasp of things, the Fed does not change the reserve requirement to control the money supply, but just to ensure stability. Matter of fact, remember when we talked about the New Deal and the Great Depression and how it went bad and the Federal government went bad again? One of the reasons, if I recall correctly, the Fed didn't really get a good grasp on things and changed the reserve ratio and caused another collapse. You gotta be careful with this. So what they're gonna do, they're gonna find what's the right reserve ratio and just keep it there and only change it, not to affect the money supply, but if we think we need a change in our overall outlook of what we need for stability for years to come. Okay? So again, we kind of like we learned with the Constitution, right? Do you want to be changing the foundations of everything all the time? No. This is, the reserve ratio is kind of like that. Just get it, set it, and then operate on those foundations. And you can tinker on the higher level stuff, but don't mess with this. Because it's going to have huge effects. You don't want the money supply going like that, and that, and that. Okay? 3. Using open market operations. This is when we're talking about the Federal Open Market Committee. Okay, I'll let you go now. Have a good day, y'all. Wasn't that fun?
No.
Oh, you should have let me pause first.